already started Critapocalypse 17. Get
Energy. What?
Get on with it.
Critapocalypse episode 17.
God.
We're once again back with the Renegade Master. You were about to do it, weren't you?
No.
You were so close.
No, I was just. What are you doing? Right.
Hello.
Back once again with the Renegade Master. Yeah.
Really
And then the rest of the lyrics. Yeah. Who cares?
Okay. Alright, anyway. So, yeah, we're back again. This is episode 17 of Critapocalypse. We talk about varying different things that we've done during the last 2-week period.
Yeah.
Can be games, can be films, can be TV, can be toilet paper, can be food, can be whatever the fuck we really want to talk about.
Viewed porn last time?
Pardon?
Viewed porn last time?
Look, it's got a narrative. It's a film. Just because you've got porn in front of film doesn't make it not a film. Alright, anyway. So, yeah, what we do is we just review stuff. Usually it's just so that we can vent, because psychologically we're so broken that we can't actually talk to people unless we get all shut off our chest at this point in time.
Is it possible to talk to people? Yeah.
Maybe.
We're attempting to... No,
So, anyway.
Not editing that out.
This week I'm starting.
Poor bastard. Get on with it.
You sure you don't want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay. Today, my number one review is going to be something very special. I managed to watch this ahead of time because it leaked and a friend of mine downloaded it, so we watched it together with our trousers off. It is, of course, the pilot Supergirl.
Ooh.
Woo! Bit of controversy behind this because it's appeared in 1080p and most leaks only appear in standard definition, so it's a bit strange this one's come out. They think it may be a leak by the studio themselves to garner some buzz.
Was it finished special effects and everything?
Yeah, everything's done.
Blimey.
I actually, personally, I'm more of that school of thought than anything else because there was so much ill will against this series after that trailer appeared. Because the trailer made it look like Mean Girls circa DC.
It looked like the Saturday Night Live sketch of Black Widow the movie.
Yeah, it really did. It turns out it's even worse than that, so who gives a fuck, really?
I get the approach, though, because they can't really go down the Arrow Flash route.
Yeah,
it has to be different.
They can't make it dark and gritty. They have to make it light and bubbly.
Why dark and gritty?
Why not?
Because it's Supergirl, for fuck's sake.
Who cares? Anyway, we're going to do a brief plot. And I'm not going to spoil it because not many people have seen it or millions of people have seen it. I don't know how the fucking internet works. I don't know how TVs work. I don't know how anything works. Whatever that magic box does to get me media content, I'm happy about. So, the story of Supergirl is Kal-El, who we know as Superman, was sent to Earth to go and blah-de-blah-de-blah, grow up.
Kal-El Superman?
Yeah. He grew up and be a big dickhead and fucking break the neck of people and watch millions die because he's a shit Superman. He's terrible at it. He's fucking awful. He's not my Superman.
I don't think it's the same Superman.
Hashtag not my Superman. Whilst this was happening, Superman's cousin was being sent to Earth as well to protect Kal-El because she was 13 at the time and, you know, obviously she could help him make sure he was getting on okay. Teach him about his powers because she was more aware of that stuff. But sadly, on her way to Earth, somehow a negative zone vortex that was missed by Superman, has opened up, and she has travelled in there for 13 years in which she was asleep. She didn't do anything. She just slept 13 years, lazy bitch. And then she woke up. She's back on Earth. She gets put with Dean Cain and some lady I can't remember.
Dean Cain?
Dean Cain.
Sweet.
Dean Cain, the OG Superman TV Superman.
Why not just have him be Superman in the series?
Well, because it's shit.
Yeah, but you could just make out it's a years later continuation of Lois and Clark.
Anyway, Supergirl is getting used to her powers, working out how to you know, be her own entity in a world where Superman exists and is already fighting the majority of crime. Yeah, it's not very good. It's just not very good. It's way too bubbly. The jokes go between misogynistic, sexist, and stupid. Everything just seems like rose-tinted bollocks. I really wanted to like it, and this is so hard for me to say. I prefer the 1988 Supergirl movie to this that we've received.
You're a terrible human being.
I'm not the one who made this. You wait until you see it. You haven't seen it yet, so you're still hopeful about this.
It's about 1984, wasn't it?
1988, I thought.
No, because it was before Superman 4, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, because the Salkins hadn't quite, you know, pulled the shoestrings in the budget quite yet on their Superman franchise.
But yeah, so yeah, I'd prefer to watch that again than watch this series. It's just there's no charm to it. There's a ton of whining. There's a lot of like, oh, but he's this and I'm this. I don't want to associate with this. Okay, so I've got all the same powers. Why can't I be a superhero? And it's just,
She flies in the first episode, though, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
Yeah, that's better than what Smallville managed. How long? 10
Look,
years?
Smallville was a much better series, though.
eventually it was decent.
Well, in the beginning I liked Smallville. It grew up with its audience, and that's always nice. But yeah, Supergirl, I give it a damning indictment. I give it an Adam Sandler. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm going to give it 1 point, which equates to a Rob Schneider.
I think the costume looks alright.
Oh, shut up.
1984, in your face.
Alright, so you know more about Supergirl, yet you haven't seen the pilot.
I've watched the Supergirl film many a time. Blimey. Peter Cook was in that. Poor bastard.
Peter O'Toole was in it as well.
God.
So yeah, I give it Rob Schneider. It's unwelcome, and it's got hairs in all the places that you have to see in these films for some reason, and I just don't want to see.
Shouldn't the Rob Schneider Award be saved for basically offensive racist stereotypes?
No, that's Adam Sandler.
Yeah, but Rob Schneider is the guy who's always painting his face up in different colours.
If a man tells a homeless man to put a dress on, and then a bunch of people go, "Oh, that homeless person shouldn't be wearing a dress," you don't blame the homeless person. You blame the person who's telling the homeless person to put the dress on.
Yeah.
You blame Adam Sandler.
What do you reckon the chances Adam Sandler was the guy who made bum fights?
I don't know.
Pretty high, I think.
What do you think the chances are that Adam Sandler's actually an evil genius and he's got a plot in place to slowly dumb the world down using media? Because I swear I watched Zookeeper for 25 minutes. Yeah. And I may have had an aneurysm in that time because I had a nosebleed and then I started to forget things and then I woke up the next day and just purple didn't taste right.
I can taste purple. Anyway, so is that it? You're just going to leave it
just
at
done.
that?
What do you want me to say about it? I mean, like the cast is nothing really. Clarissa Flockhart's in it, and it looks like she's had so much surgery a sand belt wouldn't have fucking touched her. It's incredible. I don't know how they've missed it. Dean Cain doesn't even have a line.
Really?
Yeah, and they play the Danvers. In this little, this is just the insanity that you have to deal with watching. You remember Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Z lived on that impossible little island with a small house?
In the film or the cartoon?
In the cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of where she lives.
Oh.
That's where Superman just drops her off. And you never see Superman's face because they don't have a Superman anymore. They've used Dean Cain.
They can't
fucking
Superman,
idiots. So they can't use Henry Cavill because they can't afford him. And they can't use Christopher Reeve because he's fucking dead. The horse made sure of that. So, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who's going to be Superman?
Get Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh could be Superman. I retract.
That would be awesome if they tied Supergirl to Arrow and Brandon Routh was both the Atom and Superman.
Yeah, and he just wore glasses when he was the
Atom. What if the Atom was Superman's dual identity?
He just wears glasses when he's the Atom.
Can you imagine that?
Just puts them on.
No, he just the Atom's his dual identity. The Atom has his Ray Palmer dual identity, but Superman still has his Clark Kent dual identity. Imagine if Superman was so mental.
So
he was pretending to be another superhero who has his own identity.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Alright, so basically what you're saying is we should produce the next Supergirl series.
Yeah.
Because this one's going to fucking tank. It's a pile of shit.
Yeah, they've been trying to get Stephen Amell's trying to convince him to give Constantine another chance so they can have him in Arrow.
Oh yeah, he said he's going to be. He said he's going to do it for free, didn't he? He said he'll cameo in Constantine for free.
I reckon it'd be awesome if Constantine and Arrow was tied together.
Stephen Amell is a bang-up dude. He seems like a very nice chap. He hates
Casey Jones, though.
Yeah, he's going to be Casey Jones.
You know he's going to give zero shits in that role.
There are two people I like based solely on the fact they played Casey Jones. One of them is Chris Evans, but he's proven himself in more recent years. But my first experience with Elias Koteas was Casey Jones.
Yeah, damn good.
I love Elias Koteas. I've seen The Prophecy 60 times. I love that fucking movie.
Anyway. Yeah. My review, I'm going to jump right out of the gate with a big one, as the kids say today. I don't know.
As the kids say today. As the children while away the hours.
With their playing their Pac-Man video games and their Dan Fogelberg. I'm going to start with Mad Max Fury Road. Screw waiting until the end of the podcast to review Mad Max Fury Road.
No, yeah,
because I saw this and you haven't. Ha! In your face. I am a Mad Max nerd. It's one of the films I grew up with, the original Mad Max. I think I'm the only person who's watched the first Mad Max more than Road Warrior and Beyond Thunderdome.
I've definitely seen the first Mad Max more than Road Warrior.
Road Warrior is a perfect film, though. Road Warrior is not. Is
that the one with the boomerang feral children?
No, yeah.
No, it's not the perfect film.
But Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is the one with all the kids in the plane crash site.
Yeah, I know.
But Road Warrior is the one with the boomerang kid throws a finger straight in the guy's head.
Yeah.
Road Warrior is amazing.
No, but first Mad Max is better.
Yeah, it's a different film, but
it's got the topless police chief with a white scarf.
Yeah.
Max.
He looks like a wrestler.
Yeah.
It looks
what's his last name?
I can't remember. He's Aussie Iron Sheik. He looks like to me.
Yeah. It's like Max Bielostak?
Max's last name.
Oh, yeah,
Rokotansky.
Rokotansky.
Yeah, which is a great name.
It is a great name.
It's a real surname. That name exists. Like, it's not some made-up thing.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. It's just
But anyway, yeah, friggin', it's named after one of the producers of the film, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway.
God, that's a badass name.
Fury Road is nigh on the most perfect action film that has been made in a long time.
Since Die Hard?
Yeah, it's level on Die Hard. Die Hard is the greatest action movie ever. Everyone knows that. Like, do you know that film once had Frank Sinatra in it?
Yeah.
Crazy. But, as in the lead role. But
really?
Yeah, because it was technically...
It's a book. It's based on a book. I know that.
It's based on the book. Frank Sinatra was in the film that was based on the previous book, and he had a contract that he had the right to turn down the sequel. So when they made Die Hard, they had to take it to Frank Sinatra first to see if he wanted to play John McClane.
And he said no.
Yeah, thankfully.
Do you say like?
Because he was like 70.
Do you start singing? He was like Bruce Willis.
No, Bruce started singing his own name, and they were like, "Oh, you can sing."
Under the boardwalk.
Yeah, Fury Road. Shot incredibly. This is George Miller, like, unhinged, like, just let off the rails. Because, I mean, for years he's been kind of... If you know his name the last 10 years, you've known him for Happy Feet and friggin' Babe.
Did you do Stuart Little?
No. He did Happy Feet and Babe.
Oh, Happy Feet was a dark movie.
But this film is him just going off the rails. He shoots in grand scope. There's like one shot that blew my mind when you first saw it, because it's one of those perfect ones that sets up the action scene to come, where you see Furiosa's truck and you can see Nux' car chasing towards it. He's the only one near. The camera keeps panning out, like zooming out, and there's all the cars behind it, and then it just keeps zooming out and you can see the storm brewing in front, and then it just keeps going and going and going until Furiosa and the trucks are like probably about like in the bottom very little corner of the screen, and this sandstorm is the entire second half of the image. Brilliant way of setting up the location of everything, where they are, how far they've got ahead of the other truckers when the sandstorm's coming. Like the first half hour of the film, you will be sold on the film in the first half hour. The first action sequence, you'll see stuff that you haven't seen in an action movie, like stunts that are actually real.
Yeah.
Like people getting their heads dragged right next to the floor, like inches away from the floor.
It sounds incredible.
Like people on pogo sticks that are actually real pogo sticks. Like if you go back and watch the first trailer they did for this, the one that was a teaser one, that was before they added in loads of the digital effects. So all those stunts are actual people doing the stunts on the road.
Except for the flip, there's a digital flip in the...
Yeah, they had to, because you can't throw real people 50 foot in the air. No. Well, you could, but, you know...
Depends how much you really want to suffer for.
If it was made in the 70s Australia, they would.
Yeah.
Because that's what you just did back then.
Was it Drive Through... What was the 70s, the Ozploitation film, Drive Through...
There's Slade, which is a classic 70s film for having ridiculous stunts, which had Hugh Keays-Byrne in it, who's also in Mad Max and Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, he's the guy who plays Toe Cutter?
Yeah, in the first one, yeah. He's Immortan Joe in Fury Road.
Toe Cutter!
Because that's one of the things with the Mad Max films. There's always someone from one of the other films playing a different role.
Except for that Australian bloke, the big, tall, lanky bloke with the bags under his eyes who plays the helicopter pilot.
He's a different character in Beyond Thunderdome.
Is he?
Yeah, he's still a pilot, but he's a different character.
I thought he was the same character.
No.
He's in Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Yeah, I think every Australian's in that.
Yeah,
probably. Does Howard have a role? Probably.
Probably not.
But action sequences are glorious. Character is told through actions rather than dialogue. At no point does Furiosa feel the need to explain how she lost her arm or why she lost her arm or what part of her dark past motivates her to... Like, there's at no point does she go, oh, I lost my arm, so now I want to get back at Immortan Joe. Never happens.
I'm terrified of that arm.
It's brilliant.
She's so attractive. And if I was to get anywhere... If in real life Charlize Theron lost her fucking mind and wanted to go anywhere near me and she ended up having a prosthetic arm, I'd be terrified.
I'll be up for it.
I'd still be up for it. I'd just be terrified. It'd be a fear boner.
The arm works like a real arm. It has like pulleys and stuff connecting to her shoulder, like a proper prosthetic arm has, and everything. Like nice details. But like she beats Mad Max up with one arm in one sequence. They have a fight. Granted, he's chained to Nux because Nux is dying. Nux has got some terminal disease. He's got these two little lumps on his shoulders. He gave him names. I can't remember what they are, but he's drawn little smiley faces on them.
Yeah.
And he's using Max as a blood transfusion bag at the start. And he's so desperate to get involved in the race because he wants a death, big glorious death, like a Valhalla style. That's what that's what the war boys want for Immortan Joe. They think Joe's going to grant them passage to Valhalla because they think he's a god.
Okay.
So they spray chrome paint on their teeth and then start going, "Witness me," and then blow themselves up or something in this, in battle. But he's desperate for it, and in his desperation, he gets his mate to What's he called? He's got a funny name because he's got slits up the side of his back. He's called Slit. That's it. They strap Max to the front of his car, like in Road Warrior, the two people stuck to the front of the car, and they're using him as a body bag. So when Max's adrenaline's pumping like crazy, he's got adrenaline-fueled blood pumping into his system. So they build up to a fight sequence where Max has got Nux still attached to him by a chain with the blood transfusion line between them, and he's trying to fight friggin' Furiosa.
So wait, does he want to keep Nux alive?
Well, he's kind of just trying to get him off of him at the time because he's still attached by a chain. He's got like a mouthpiece around him with a chain connecting the thing. So but they it starts off like usual with Mad Max. He's not getting on with the people that he's come along with. He's sort of like he gets dragged into their story.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff where he barely says a word and he's just like, pointing guns at everyone and he's just like really cautious and then gradually earns their trust becomes a bit more human.
Does Nux die?
Maybe.
So yes.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
You got his whole plot arc is that he wants someone to witness me, but his sequences are amazing. Just like the way his arc is really good. He's got one of the best arcs in the film.
Is he? Because he started out in Skins.
Nicholas Hoult. Yeah, it's Beast.
He started out in Skins. He's done probably the best of anyone from Skins. Well, actually,
isn't one of the girls from that was she in Flash? She was the teleporting girl, wasn't she? Or is that the girl from Sugar Rush?
That's the girl from Sugar Rush.
Yeah. That's it. Because she was
one of the girls from Misfits.
Yeah.
Is in Under the Dome, but that's nothing to be proud of. That's a fucking awful program. I'm trying to think of the other guy that's done really. Dev Patel.
Oh yeah, he's in stuff, isn't he?
I watched Chappie recently. He's in that.
Yeah.
Chappie's all right.
I've not seen Chappie yet.
There's one thing that I hate, and that's spoilers for Chappie, not for Mad Max Fury Road. Towards the end, there's Die Antwerp.
Oh yeah.
No surprise that Die Antwerp are in it. They play the mum and the dad figure. And at the end, one of them gets buried, and the one that survives is wearing a Die Antwerp t-shirt and like some sort of meta commentary. And I saw that, and the camera has like this weird orange sheen to it, like a music video. And I was like, no, this isn't going to turn into a music video for the last 3.5 minutes. And it just doesn't. It clears up the story, but it's just it's a poorly chosen. The whole film, there's a lot of really bad decisions in Chappie, but there's so much to like. Like,
it's a Blomkamp film. He's like he nailed it hit it out of the park with one film, and now he's sort of people are waiting for him to do something.
District 9 was great. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's just glorious fun. And then Elysium, I really like.
Yeah, some people hate that film.
I fucking adore it.
I haven't watched it yet.
There's a gun in Elysium that cuts through walls, and a man tries to escape the bullets by going through the wall, and it basically has a pan shot that pans from the gun round as he's coming around the corner, all in slow motion. As he's coming around the corner, the camera panning around gets the bullets coming through the wall and just penetrating his body and tearing him apart. Because they have like a... I'm talking too much, this is your review. But anyway, yeah, Chappie was alright.
Chappie, yeah. But Fury Road, I've forgotten Avengers now. Because of this.
Yeah, Avengers, it didn't take long for me to forget big parts of Avengers. I can still recall it if I think about it.
It's an enjoyable film. But Mad Max Fury Road just kicks its arse. 70-year-old George Miller making an action film that kicks more arse than you can imagine.
Yeah, but you could say the same for Martin Scorsese.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese.
It's not an action movie though.
Yeah, but it had more energy than films being made by people that were like 25.
Yeah. It's absolutely superb film.
Look at the two Italian guys that made Evil Dead the remake.
Oh yeah, that film's awesome.
They understood horror better than the people that can speak English. They were just like, so blood is happening and people getting cut, that's happening, and then fire's kind of scary, and it's just like no one else just goes like, everybody else is like, oh yeah, and then we got to get a jump scare. It's like, fuck off. Have you heard about the Poltergeist remake?
I haven't seen it yet. Sam Raimi directed it, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it? Is he producing it?
He's probably producing it, but it's getting the worst reviews ever.
Yeah, but it didn't need to happen.
No. My friend went to go see it and he said, do you remember how there was like that one clown that creepily sort of moved a little bit and spoke? Yeah, there's a box of clowns.
Oh. And
they just fucking dance about the place attacking people. Like, it's no longer a subtle
I was hoping it would be goofy, like Drag Me to Hell.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think they've just never seen Poltergeist, because the first Poltergeist is about everything that we comfort being taken away from us and steadily leaving us in a compromising position. This one, it's like, let me just call them up on my iPhone, and it's got like video scan lines appear on the iPhone, and it stops working, and there's like a TV stuff. But this all happens in like 2 minutes. It's not like, oh, the telephone line's not working. Oh my god, the hot water's not working. And it's like not over like a couple of weeks. It's over just 5 minutes. They're just like, oh my god, everything's stopped working, guys.
Oh.
We've got to get someone in here. It's like, oh fuck.
Don't watch it.
I don't either. My friend pretty much summed it up for me.
Anyway, I think I've said Mad Max was amazing enough.
Yeah?
It was. I want to go see it again.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it again.
We're going to see it for once.
I'm going to go see it for the first time.
Yeah. See it in 2D. Fuck 3D.
Depends how intoxicated I am at the time.
Yeah.
And whether or not I buy the right ticket.
That extra money for a 3D ticket, you could buy a pack of Roundtree's fruit gums.
Is that from the concession stand?
Yeah.
They contain gelatin.
Yeah, it's good for you.
No, it's not. I would just take carrot sticks and hummus.
Oh, you fucking hippie.
It tastes amazing. Do you not like hummus?
No.
Do you not like carrots?
Boiled.
Jesus, what kind of podcast has this become? It's
Outrageous.
refined and unrefined right now. Isn't it? So, Mad Max, you'd recommend?
No,
Is there anyone you wouldn't recommend it to?
Mediocre.
Is there anyone you wouldn't recommend it to?
What? Mad Max?
Yeah, and no one's going to get that reference if they haven't seen the film. They're waiting
They
for a
will.
recommendation.
Everyone's seen the film now. You're the
No
only
one
who
has
hasn't.
seen the film yet.
It's 170 million box office or
Do you know
whatever.
how much? That's probably 5 people. Cinema tickets are expensive.
Yeah, true. One of them was a 3D showing.
So, would you recommend it?
Yeah, it's a freaking amazing film.
Would you recommend it to everyone, or is there a certain
Yes.
audience you wouldn't recommend it to?
Yes, I recommend it to anyone who thinks action movies are stuff like Fast and the Furious.
So, not a date movie.
Definitely a date movie.
Not a movie for the kids.
Girls will love it. It's got everyone keeps going about feminist message. It's actually got strong female characters in the thing. I don't like saying females because I think I'm Quark from Deep Space Nine. You know, the fucking Ferengis.
Does it have any transgender people?
No, not that I'm aware of.
No, it's not quite on the level of Con Air acceptance, then, is it?
Nah. There's a little disabled guy in a funny little wheelchair.
Oh right, transgender people aren't disabled.
There's all sorts. It's got plenty.
Oh my god!
I wasn't saying they were. I was saying representation wise. And they got one Aborigine in there. Pops up for about a fraction of a second.
Isn't it based in Australia?
Flashbacks. Yeah, but they're all dead.
No, they're not.
Yeah, the Aborigines are.
Wait, have you seen?
In Mad Max universe, they're all dead.
Oh yeah, because the nukes. Yeah, there's not much
well,
shielding in.
Well, no, like you got a civilization that's collapsing. What's the first thing white people are going to do? Enslave and destroy any indigenous life they see lesser than them. They all get wiped out in the Mad Max universe.
Us vegetarians are gonna be dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone's a vegetarian in the future, unless you eat people.
That's true.
Anyway, your review.
Okay, my next review is going to be nice, short, sweet. It's Resident Evil Revelations 2. Anyone who has followed me on Cinemageddon or any other media that I have some sort of attachment to will probably know that I adore the Resident Evil series. Yes, there have been some shitty entries, namely looking at Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6.
Everyone's got a shitty entry, mate.
It's an exit for me. But Resident Evil Revelations 2 is it's a nice little game. It's nothing massive, but for 20 quid you wouldn't expect it to be. Raid mode is present again, which is the arcadey kill as much as you can within a time limit, earns more time if you do well. Arcadey sort of game. I've said arcadey twice in that sentence, so I'm a bit disappointed in myself.
You can say that.
Yeah. It's episodic, so there are 4 episodes. If you purchase it online, digitally through Xbox One, PS4 or on PC through Steam, you will also receive 2 additional episodes which sort of fill out the story a bit more, but aren't really necessary. In terms of the story itself, it's the same convoluted shit you get from every Resident Evil game. If someone hasn't gone mad or Albert Wesker hasn't come back to life, then it's not really a Resident Evil game in my eyes. But yeah, so it's good. It's simple, it's silly, it's fun. I'd recommend it. For 20 quid on Xbox One, which is what I paid for it, and I think it's about the same on PS4.
Yeah, selling it like
I
I think on PC you have to buy like the first episode, then buy a season pass for the rest of it. So
it's like 15 quid.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And it's definitely worth the money. If you're a fan of Resident Evil, if you're a fan of a bit of like schlocky, gory monsters, yeah, it's really good. It's the first game I've actually had to tone the difficulty down. Almost every game I play
it's
on
multiplayer
hard.
on the PC or on the
It
Xbox
is.
One, isn't it?
It's split screen.
Yeah, not on the Xbox, on the PC version. Someone
it?
hacked it. Yeah, someone had to basically.
Yeah, they've added that now.
Capcom were all like, "Oh, you can't have multiplayer on the PC
But they've
version,"
added it now.
and then someone modded it.
Someone modded it, and then Capcom added it.
Yeah, Capcom were like, "Oh, is it that easy? Oh,
Yeah. Hire that guy."
like you just want to be made to look like idiots. Like you take a mode out of the game and say, "Oh no, we couldn't do it on PC. Sorry," and then just done. Fucking ridiculous.
There are some geniuses out there. But yeah, it's not quite back to the stellar first 4 entries into the series, but it's definitely not slung to the lows of 5 and 6.
Still not played 6.
I'd say if this was to be compared to anything, it'd be Resident Evil 3 Resident Evil Gaiden, which was the Game Boy entry. It's around that sort of level.
Yeah.
It's fun, entertaining. There's a couple of nice little bits in there. I like the character switching. That's very similar to Resident Evil 0. But again, Resident Evil 0 for me was a stellar entry. That'd be up there with 1 and 2. I really like that game.
It's one on the train, isn't it?
Yeah. Bullet Time Billy. Billy Cohen, who's your partner in that. He's like a prisoner, and you're playing as Rebecca Chambers. And Rebecca's, she's like goes into this car, and there's like this lizard leech man, and she's like, "Oh, hi there, Story, you okay?" And he turns around and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden Billy comes into the scene just with a pistol that he's got from nowhere, and doesn't appear to have when you become him, which is weird. But he just does like this sideways jump in slow motion and takes pot shots off at the leech man and kills him in just like a few hits. But if you try and do that in the main game, it does not work. But yeah, I started playing the game on hard. I had to tone down the difficulty after episode 1 because I just found it a bit too hard. So I've gone down to normal, but I plan to replay it all the way through because it's only taken me a total of about 7 hours to get through the game.
Yeah.
That's all. That's both sides because each chapter is Claire Redfield and Moira Burton, and it switches to Barry Burton, who's the guy from the first game, and Natalie, which is this little girl that's part of an experiment. You sort of find out about her past.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It was all out now.
Yeah, it's all out now. It all came out. It was like released weekly, so you paid for the season pass. And you got it weekly, which is nice because Telltale's version of that is
they've really slacked off on that now.
Yeah, free monthly intervals.
That's the thing though. It was already completely done. Why not just sell it as a complete game in the first week?
Oh, it wasn't completely done. I think the problem was that they had issues with some of the episodes porting over because I think there was a big break between the last episode and the other bits. Because the first episode was released February 15th, and then it was released weekly until it came to the last one, and the last one didn't release until the disc one came out. No. I don't know if it was held until the disc one came out, but I heard there were problems.
I don't know. It's Capcom. Whatever they say is a lie. Yeah,
but I give it a solid Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of a twinge for the glory days of Big and hell, even Castaway. It's definitely not a Captain Phillips, that fucking torrid piece of shit.
Is it a Joe versus the volcano?
It might be a Joe versus the volcano. In fact, I might even go to say it reaches the lofty heights of the Burbs. But it does not quite get to Sleepless in Seattle.
Get a copy of the Burbs. It's an Arrow film released it a while ago, didn't they? Yeah,
I've got a DVD copy. It's really widely available. But yeah, probably my favourite Tom Hanks film. This is going to sound really fucking sad, but Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh dear.
Great film.
Just fucking kill yourself now.
Well, when you consider the guy's been in the Green Mile, and I say Sleepless in Seattle is a great... I even You've Got Mailed.
Oh.
Mail. You've got mail. You've got nailed.
You've got mails.
You've got nailed. It's just spam emails of porn sites. But yeah, no, your review.
Right.
To you, sir.
My next review will be the entirety of Arrow Season 3, which is finished now on Sky TV last week, but The Flash isn't on until next week, fucking, because they got the week out of sync, haven't they?
Did I watch the last episode of The Arrow? I don't think I did.
You didn't watch it?
Nope. I got bored of The Arrow. I was more of a Flash person by the end. Yeah, Flash was spot on, but we got to wait till next week for the finale over it. Yeah, well, that's because I'm not illegally downloading things. Nor am I. I just get other people to do it. Says the person who just reviewed Supergirl Pilot. My friend downloaded it. I just watched it. Yeah. I'm a victim of another crime. Well, I won't spoil what happens at the end. Just go for it. I don't give a fuck. Of Arrow. He shoots someone with an arrow. No, she doesn't. All right, wait. So I'm 18 episodes into the 22 episode series. Okay. So you got to the point where he's accepted. He's been offered. Yeah. But I assume he accepts it because it was spoiled in The Flash. Yeah. But I'm guessing that he wheedles his way out of it somehow. He's going to bring back to life. He's going to bring back to life the old Canary. Not yet. Malcolm Merrill's going to take over for the League of Shadows. Maybe. His sister is going to join him as Speedy, possibly. Yeah, probably. And Diggle is maybe going to be Green Lantern. Well, I don't know about that. Because they spoke about that. Flash made a reference that the pilot went missing. Yeah, and then I read something that Diggle had signed on for the next 2 seasons. Yeah, he was also going to be in the. I don't think he should be because John Diggle exists in the DC comics anyway. Well, he does now. Yeah, well, he was a butler or something, wasn't he? Yeah, yeah, but season 3 of Arrows has been a bit shaky. I think it's been this constant thing where it's like we can't trust that person, we're going to trust that person, then Oliver's going, I'm going to go do this thing, and everyone's like, you can't do this thing, and then Felicity goes, but we're in this together,
and that's basically what the entire series has been.
We didn't start the fire.
They did start a fire.
It was always better.
Billy Joel did it.
The world was turning.
But it's been shaky, and the finale was kind of like decent-ish. Got in the episodes leading up to it, there was a bit where you got a good bit of Atom action as he's flying around the place punching things.
Atom.
I fucking love.
He's just Iron Man.
Yeah, it was Brandon. That's what Atom kind of. He shrinks eventually.
Yeah, he's just gonna be
not in this series.
Iron Man and Ant-Man.
Yeah, but he's always got the armor suit in the.
The problem is with DC, like so many people like just feel this wide breadth of powers. Like you can't just have one power and then learn how to use it in clever ways. You have to have all the powers.
Yeah.
And I just find that infuriating.
But it's Brandon Routh. How can you dislike Brandon Routh?
I love Brandon Routh, but I wish that his power was just shrinking.
Well, he gets that in Legends of Tomorrow, the series that's coming.
That looks awful.
I think that looks quite cool. It looks like it's going to be this campy, silly adventure series.
It looks like that, but it's going to be really shit. You're
going to travel through time. And all sorts.
With Rick Hunter, played by
Arthur Davil. Yeah, from Doctor Who. I think that's really cool. They should have got Matt Smith to play him.
Yeah,
that would have been quite cool. Have a doctor,
David
have an actual. Yeah, wasn't he? No, he's not been in any of these, has he?
No.
What was he signed to? What was it he's in?
Broadchurch?
He's in. Wasn't he in Constantine?
No.
He's in one of these comic booky things.
No.
Can't remember which side he is.
No, he's not.
But anyway. Thingy, Arrow. Yeah. Flash has been much better. But yeah, whatever. Arrow's been decent. I didn't really get Ra's al Ghul. He didn't feel like Ra's al Ghul to me. He felt like some sort of gangster mob boss guy instead. Who happened to have ninjas.
Ra's al Ghul is.
Yeah, but Ra's al Ghul's supposed to have a bit of sort of gravitas to him. He's supposed to be a little bit...
That's why he's British.
It's not enough.
I am the serpent!
Because I don't think they've done Ra's al Ghul properly on friggin' any
TV.
On Black Man is wrong. Animated series, like back in the 90s. Yeah.
Did you, like... You know what really disappoints me about Ra's al Ghul? He always has to be human. He always has to be grounded in reality. No. Like, there's a Batman comic from the 80s, in which Batman and Ra's al Ghul agree to fight. Ra's al Ghul takes... Like, he's just wearing the trousers for the serpent and the weird little fucking felt booties. And Batman throws a punch, and Ra's just grabs it and breaks his hand. Just do that. It sets the tone for the rest of the... He will break you, right? He has this army of people at his disposal. And you are just a human. You're a petty thing in front of this immortal monster that is so vicious and so well trained that there's just no beating him. There shouldn't be some clever 4-episode arc in which he's like, I've got an idea. Maybe if I use smoke bombs and some trick arrows, I can get him to stop killing people. No, he's a fucking force of nature. He's like the Hulk. Don't get me started about the Hulk. But yeah, I haven't seen the last 4 episodes.
Well, you need to catch up.
Why? I'm watching The Flash.
Well, there's another superhero in it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who?
Katana's in it.
Who?
Katana.
Who?
The ninja girl woman who's got the white thing with the Japanese flag thing on her face. She's in Suicide Squad.
Oh, give us
She's going to be in the film. But she's quite cool. She actually looks properly like the character in the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's probably wasted in this show.
It was decent, but it's not their best series. It's the weakest Arrow series.
The first series was the best series.
I think the second one was.
No, the first series was...
I like Deathstroke, so more Deathstroke.
I liked Deathstroke, but it was minus the preachy shit. The first series, I didn't like the preachy shit.
But the first series I quite liked because it was... I liked some of it, but it took ages to get started. It kind of...
Yeah.
The first few episodes was like... It felt like everything was rushing but getting nowhere. But I like how he's... I know he said he's not following his book anymore, but surely those people are still bad guys and they need dealing with.
I think they were probably killed in the earthquake.
Hopefully. Anyway.
Do you think he just wrote the same name over and over again? Just Malcolm Merrill, Malcolm
Merlin,
400 times.
Anyway.
Oh, did you hate it when they brought Tommy back?
Well, he was in a flashback thing, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, it fucking irritated me.
Yeah. Anyway.
I still like what is going on.
Review a thing.
Okay, 1 second.
Stop drinking your weird concoction.
Oh, it's so bad.
Drink your ginger beer.
So my next review is going to be Smite for the Xbox One.
I played this on my channel ages ago.
Yeah, I played
about
it
a year ago
on the Xbox One,
PS1, PC version rather. There.
Oh, I took that back in the wrong way. Yeah, it's an interesting game. It's a MOBA, third-person MOBA, which is something I haven't played before. Yeah,
it's a different approach to it. That's why I think I found it easier to get into, because I can't get the hang of Dota and all that. I find it too much of a steep learning curve.
Is Dota an abbreviation of something?
Defense of the Ancients, but they're not allowed to call it Defense of the Ancients because that license is owned by Blizzard.
Oh, Blizzard
There's a
bringing
lot
out an online MOBA.
Yes, Heroes of the Storm, which is you can open beta now. You can play that.
Is it free to play?
Yeah, they all are.
So, just so you're aware, Blizzard do not sponsor this podcast, but if they want to sponsor this podcast, we did just give them a glowing review there for a second.
Well, what did you think of Smite?
I thought to myself, I received an email, I know I signed up to it, I received an email that said, "You've been selected to play Smite. Here are 2 beta keys, one for you and one for a friend." And I thought to myself, Smite, have a go at this. And I had a go, and I thought, Smite like this if I play it a bit more. But it turns out I didn't. So, Smite not be for me.
Oh dear.
Smite have a go later. Smite have a go on another day.
Yeah.
But Smite never play again.
I thought it was a load of Smite.
I didn't have a response.
No, I quite enjoyed what I played of it, but eventually I got to the point where I was dealing with all the Russian gamers who were like, "You're fucking useless, get out of game," and stuff like that, and I'm like, fuck this, I can't bother. I'm not going to play a game if I'm getting abuse shouted at me. I can't bother with that. I play a game for fun. So
I found mostly that if someone has been playing for an extra 5 hours over you, you are in a league all your own. You're not ever going to be able to fight anyone. You are essentially just taking out like little grunts. Yeah. And if you try and fight anyone, they've got one special that will immediately obliterate your health.
Did you play the single lane mode?
Yeah.
I thought that was quite cool. And the arena mode's quite
Did not
cool.
get on with any of it. I think it's just not for me. I'm just not one of those people. Because
I don't get MOBAs. I can't.
No.
But I got into that one because I
DC
could play it
one,
with a controller and get on with it. I haven't played the DC one.
I like the DC one. But I like the DC one because it feels like there's... You know when Smite, as soon as I got into the game, it was like, you can purchase new character skins. You can purchase new characters. I was like, can I not just have the characters?
Yeah. One thing in Smite, every week it changes what characters you can play with. And all that. I quite like that.
And I'm probably not going to see what the characters are next week.
That's the thing, League of Legends doesn't do that. League of Legends is pretty much every character from the start is playable.
League of Legends was just as bad for me.
Yeah,
I like how people call it LOL, as if it's some sort of humorous game.
Yeah.
Nothing humorous about it. It's a mean, torrid bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like I said, Smite ever going on another day. Smite
you can play on one thing that's got over the others. You can play a single player mode and play against AI,
but
which it's still dull, but it's like it's a different thing.
Can you imagine if you could play like a single player version of Titanfall and you're just playing against robots?
Yeah,
against monster line. You decimate them once you've played. Once you've come first in any game of Titanfall, you know you're qualified to play in bigger parties or with more people. And as soon as you get into that, you'll be like, oh, this is actually so much easier and so much better than I thought it'd be because there's tactics involved. I just love Titanfall.
Not played it for a while.
I've not played it for a while. I might go on Titanfall tonight.
Yeah.
Might
you
get
got
drunk.
an Xbox, haven't you?
Yeah.
I got it on PC.
On the Xbox One. I had my hedgehog out last night whilst I was playing Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Jumped once. That was because the hedgehog bit me.
Yeah.
I had the controller on top of him. And he was like, getting a bit annoyed with me. And he bit me.
Terrible.
I love my animal.
Alright. So you're done with Smite?
Smite be done.
Yeah.
Smite try again later.
Yeah.
Smite not.
Alright.
Who snows? But yeah, Smite. I give it. I'm gonna give it. I
like the dance animations when your character wins. You play some of the girl characters and they do little weird dances.
Oh, yeah.
There's one of them who's she's got some cat thing going on, and she does lots of like dancing around with her paws in the air and stuff.
I'm gonna give it a Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah. Which era of Gerard Depardieu?
90s. People really like it, but I just don't understand what it is. Or what it's there to appeal to.
The thing is, Dota and LoL are like pretty much ruling the roost when it comes to MOBAs, and this is kind of like on the back. The only MOBA I've really properly enjoyed was friggin' Super Monday Night Combat. That game was excellent. Remember the one that was on Xbox originally? They did Monday Night Combat. It was a really basic one. That was quite a cool little game and fun. But Super Monday Night Combat on the PC was way better.
I've just blown my own mind in silence. So everybody be ready to have your minds explode quite loudly. I'm in control of my brain. Charles Xavier on the weekends. I've just realised what the original MOBA was.
What? It was Dota.
No.
It was the World of Warcraft
before
thing.
that.
Yeah.
What was the original battle? Like 4-4 battle in an arena, not with guns, with different moves, varying arenas.
There's no varying arenas in a MOBA. It's the same 3 lanes.
Bomberman. It's
Bomberman.
essentially
That's
like
not
it's
Boba.
essentially like a changed version of Bomberman. It's like that.
different.
It's,
Because you're not working from one point to the other to take the goal.
yeah, you are.
Not in Bomberman.
Yeah, the goal is to blow other people up, but you're going from one place to another to take the
Your
goal.
game is to take a boss in a MOBA. If you want to go back to early MOBAs, you'd be probably looking at stuff like friggin' Return Fire would be one of the examples. But the original Dota was a mod for Warcraft. And it was, yeah, it was what it was done. It was a mod for Warcraft. Really smart idea. Tower defense games came from modding Warcraft as well, which is quite smart.
I like Command and Conquer. Your review.
Right. My review number 3, I'm going to review a wrestling event. In your face. I haven't played Broken Age yet, so...
Okay,
yeah, I've had that for
wait.
weeks.
Before we start this, can I ask if Ultimate Warrior fought in this wrestling?
No, because he's dead. He's very dead.
Macho Man Randy Savage?
No, he's dead as well.
Andre the Giant?
He's dead. 3 of the 5 people on the front of your WrestleMania Challenge cartridge are dead.
3 of the wrestlers that I like. The only wrestlers that I like, if I'm honest, because Hulk Hogan's a fucking dick.
Yeah. Anyway.
Your review.
I'm mostly going to concentrate on one match that was on this card because it may well be the best match WWE have had this year and probably the best women's match they've had forever, basically. 2 wrestlers, Becky Lynch, who's an Irish wrestler. She's got a very thick Irish accent, red hair. She came out dressed in a steampunk costume, which was quite cool. Going against Sasha Fierce, the women's champion, and it was on XT Takeover, or whatever it was called, Unstoppable. They're alive, damn it. But it's like...
It's a miracle.
That event was quite decent. It was where Samoa Joe first made his first appearance in NXT. He's apparently recorded a match for the upcoming week's shows that are coming up. But this Becky Lynch, not Sasha Grey, because she's a porn actress. Sasha thingy Bliss. I keep trying to say Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Grey.
Sasha Bliss. Anyway,
I saw a video with Sasha Grey in it, and she was not wrestling the lady.
No,
she was with. They were
but anyway, that match
being intimate.
was incredible. Like a proper wrestling match, proper technical holds going on. They both have arm submission finishers, so there was lots of work in the arm in each other's match. The storyline that built into it was that Becky Lynch is meant to be in Sasha's shadow, so she was going to overtake her. Sasha Banks, the name, get it right. Oh, God, getting the names all confused because I started thinking Sasha Fierce and all this sort of stuff. But the match was superb. Absolutely perfect match. There only one flaw in the match, which wasn't helped by commentators being fucking terrible in NXT. Sasha Banks does a dive over the ropes. Becky Lynch was meant to catch her and then do a move with her outside the ring, but she kind of stumbled and then had to pick her back up. And it was like a really awkward moment, but she picked her up from a deadlift from the ground anyway, whatever, that's quite impressive. But the commentators go, "Oh my God, she caught her!" after saying, "Oh, she stumbled."
She got their lines mixed up.
Just stupid.
It's all rehearsed.
The commentary is...
It's all fake.
You need to
They've
understand...
got scripts.
You don't have scripts on commentary.
It's like Dancing with the Stars.
You don't have scripts on commentary.
They do.
No, you don't.
It's like Dancing with the Stars. They have like a little demo run.
No, they don't even demo their matches. They'll just sit backstage and they'll talk the match through. That'll be literally it. Because they know what they're doing. But that match was excellent. Absolutely superb. Well, it was the sort of women's wrestling match that you never get on Raw or SmackDown because they don't give the women time to wrestle. And half of them were hired by John Laurinaitis, who always said, "I can teach a girl to wrestle, I can't teach a girl to look like a supermodel." So he hired models and then taught them to wrestle, and they weren't very good. Whereas Becky Lynch is someone who's wrestled around the world for about 10, 12 years now. And she's like properly trained, comes from a wrestling family and all this sort of stuff.
Could she beat Ronda Rousey?
Probably a fight. Ronda Rousey's like a MMA woman, though, so different background. Because the thing is that wrestlers have, when they try to do MMA, is that they've spent 10, 15 years throwing punches like wrestlers.
Yeah.
And that's what you've watched the first Brock Lesnar match where he telegraphs every punch he throws.
Yeah.
Because, he's used to winding back for the camera, but you don't do that. But no, they had a really, really good match. It was excellent. The spots on it some of them were brutal. Excellent German suplexes, like the sort of reversals to move that you never see in American wrestling. Usually sort of stuff you don't see in Japanese wrestling, like ducking under someone as they leap over and grabbing their leg as they fall so you can drag them to the ground. All this sort of cool counter hold stuff. It went right at the bank with a whole bunch of reversals and stuff. Absolutely superb match. Overshadowed the main event, which is quite crazy because the main event was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, and they're excellent. Kevin Owens is a big bloke. He's going to have a match with John Cena in a couple of weeks.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, they just had him turn up on Raw, powerbomb the shit out of John Cena. We're going to have a match on Elimination Chamber.
Okay, so I don't know anything about wrestling. I think that's pretty evident from this podcast at this point. You're a wrestling correspondent.
Yeah.
Did you know that John Cena has visited
Terrible
more
wrestling.
children for Make-A-Wish than any other person?
Yeah, that was
ever?
like years ago he achieved that.
He's like, yeah, he beat 200, which is the record.
Mm.
He's now on 480, I believe.
Yeah.
He visits 6 kids all the time.
Yeah, he's probably going to catch something eventually.
Oh my god. I was trying to say something beautiful about a lovely man who fights people pretend style.
No, he does loads of that because, makes you look good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gets to meet all them poor kids. The Rock used to do that as well, but he left WWF before,
Did you see The Rock
Beat
married
records.
Nick Mundy?
Yeah, he did some
For,
wedding thing, didn't he?
yeah.
That was weird.
Married Nick Mundy to his fiancée.
Who's Nick Mundy?
Nick Mundy's Mundy is a correspondent for the Honest Trailers people.
Oh, them.
Yeah. So he got ordained and he married Nick Mundy and his fiancée. It's very sweet. I like The Rock.
Yeah, we should get him on the podcast. I don't think he'd want to.
One second, let me text him.
Yeah, okay. Well, you need to review something now.
He said no.
No.
I am going to review my final review. I've had a busy week and I've not.
I haven't.
The problem is there's so much right now. It's like there's so much to see in the cinemas, and I think that if it wasn't for the time of year, I would be just going to the cinema all the time. But it's so fucking hot outside. I just can't bear to think to be enclosed in the room. So instead, I took to mobile gaming, and this week the audience groaned. This week I played a game I've been looking forward to for quite a while and was stunningly disappointed. Knights of Pen and Paper 2.
Huh?
Do you remember Knights of Pen and Paper?
No.
Okay, so Knights of Pen and Paper was like a D&D simulator where you pick a team of 5 and you go and fight monsters, go on little quests, and it's all very very comedic. It's all quite light, quite humorous. There's references to things like Ghostbusters and all this other shit.
Yeah.
It's very nerdy, very fun, very bright. Knights of Pen and Paper 2 is almost exactly the same thing, but they've dropped what was the 8-bit graphics for the original one and changed it to a higher resolution. That doesn't affect gameplay, but what does affect gameplay is the fact that you switch areas so quickly. You don't know quite where you're going. Loads of quests lead you to run off far, far away and then come back to the same fucking place. It's taken something that's quite simple, quite sweet, quite fun and funny, and it's made it bigger. But it's given it this accordion effect, much like the Hobbit films that we spoke about before.
Yeah.
There's still that content there, but there's just a lot of air between the content, and they've tried to
Is it a free
fill
to play
that air
one?
with. No, it's £4.
Oh, who buys games on mobile phone?
Apparently I do.
Oh dear.
For £4.
Google keeps going, you should add your credit card to your account. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Unless I want to pay for W Supercard cards, because I really need some epics.
Look, don't you dare start paying for free games.
Knights of Pen and Paper, though.
Knights of Pen and Paper 2. Yeah, well, I actually bought the game. There is like a you can buy gold and shit, but you don't ever need to do that unless you're.
It's got microtransactions.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But you don't need to do that. That's not a necessity. There's no wait times between battles. There's none of that shit that you have to worry about in other games that have stuff like that. All in all, good game.
Yes. Oh, I've seen that advertised. Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I'd really recommend the first one. I probably wouldn't recommend the second one so much, unless you're a diehard fan of the first one like I am, in which case buy immediately. Because it's more of the same, it's just more of the same and a bit of stuff you didn't really need or didn't really want.
Oh right, so you sit there at a table playing Dungeons & Dragons.
And you buy stuff and you set up your room that you play D&D in and it gives you bonuses.
There was a RPG I played ages ago on the Windows phone I had that was quite smart, where it was an RPG about a bunch of guys who got dragged into their Dungeons and Dragons game. They found a new book, and he goes round to the house and all his friends have vanished, and then they go inside it, and the whole RPG's you're playing the characters they play as in their Dungeons and Dragons games.
Okay.
In an RPG, which I thought was quite a smart.
Did you have to walk around and stuff?
Yeah, you're actually in that. You've been sucked into the world.
In this, you just you select a place you want to go to, and it rolls the dice for a safe journey.
Yeah.
And when you open a chest, it rolls a dice to see what you got. It's just like playing D&D.
I quite like that. You can do more with that. They should do an RPG based on that episode of Community. Where
definitely. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
With the sort of Draconis.
Yeah, like you're trying to play the RPG, but you're constantly being undermined by Chevy Chase.
That's kind of what this is like. Yeah. But I give it a... what am I going to give it? I'm going to give it a Justin Long.
I thought you were going to say Justin Bieber for a second.
No. I'm going to give it a Justin Long. Yeah.
Justin Long in supporting or lead role?
Supporting.
Okay, that's better. Yeah.
No, he's alright in lead.
No, he's not.
But I give it Justin Long in supporting role. just because it can back up the original product quite well. Just when you compare the two, it
His
really doesn't.
best role is
really
still in
doesn't
Idiocracy.
No,
As the Doctor.
no, Zack and Miri make a porno. Sorry, what was that film you were in? Oh, you mean Shut Your Dirty Mouth, I'm Gonna Fuck It. Yeah, that one. Oh.
I'm in mostly male-only films. Well, like Glenn Ross.
Like Glenn Gary sucks Glenn Ross.
Like Glenn and Gary take Ross from behind.
Yeah.
No, I love it in Idiocracy where he's like, your shit's so fucked up, you talk like a fire.
Okay, so when you put this one in your ass and this one in your mouth. Wait, I got those mixed up. Alright, so put this one in your mouth and put this one in your ass. Okay.
I love Idiocracy.
I thought it was a great film. Dak Shepard.
It's massively underrated.
It really is.
Yeah,
it's
Americans didn't like it. Weird that, isn't it?
Because it's taking the piss out of them.
Putting a mirror to themselves.
Did you watch
like
Silicon Valley?
No.
Great series.
No.
It's directed by Mike Judge.
Oh, didn't know he did a series. Other than... I still watched the new Beavis and Butthead. Heard it's a bit
no,
ropey.
nor did I, because what the fuck is the point?
Right, so shall I review my last thing?
It's the final countdown.
I'm going to put a big old end on Life is Strange, episode 3, which came out this past Tuesday. So I'm getting this review done quick, aren't I? Eh?
Yeah.
Eh? Our 2-week gaps didn't mess up too much. Anyway, it continues to be really good. Like, nicely written, really nice ideas, with a bit of a girly adventure thing going on, which I quite like. Girls bonding. That's what we need more of. And this game gave you the opportunity to kiss Chloe at one point. Ooh. And I saw there's a video on YouTube of just that part that's got thousands of views. Because people are pervs.
I kept refreshing the page because it wouldn't load, and apparently every time I refreshed it, it gave him another view.
It's not even that sexy.
Look, I wanted to watch it. I may have clicked refresh 60 to 70,000 times, but it was completely worth it.
But this one's been much better paced than the second one was, because the second one had this horrible bit in the middle where you had to find 6 tin cans, so you could do this bit where Chloe's trying to shoot tin cans, and it took ages to find them because they were a nightmare.
Everything in this program sounds hot.
But
I mean,
it's less action packed than the second one. It more focuses on character stuff. A large amount of it is you and Chloe hanging out at a swimming pool and sneaking around the school trying to find evidence. Really nice way to solve a puzzle in one bit. It kind of felt a bit silly because the item you didn't get to keep afterwards, but you make a bomb in the school using kits from the science class, and then you blow the door up so you can get into the principal's office, then reverse time and unlock the door from the other side so no one knows that you broke in. Like, there's no evidence that you broke in. Didn't find a key or anything like that. You blow the door off the hinges in one time.
Working with Bill and Ted logic.
Yeah.
If you didn't break the window so that you could get in to unlock the door, and you unlocked the door in the past, but that window breaking never happened.
You never break a window. You blew up the door lock, went in the room, rewound time while you're in the room, so you're in the room before the bomb blew up, and then you unlock the door.
Yeah, but this is the
Max
logic
doesn't move in time. She stays where she is. So whatever item she has on her or wherever she is at that time, she stays there while the rest of the world reverses.
But with Bill and Ted logic...
It's not Bill and Ted logic. This is more sort of Star Trek logic.
Oh, there is no logic to Star Trek.
There is time. It's all dimensions and shit.
Oh, I hate Star Trek so much.
Because you're creating alternate timelines constantly. And all sorts of weird shit's going on in the world that Max seems to be gradually ignoring.
No.
Yeah, like dead birds everywhere in this episode. Just everywhere.
It's probably the polar field.
Well, apparently this alluding to the idea that when she's reversing time, it's not moving the planet, so the planet's going all out of sync. Something's really messing up the planet, because like there was an eclipse at the end of the second episode, like just out of nowhere. There was a snowstorm at the end of the first one. This one, there's dead birds everywhere that are falling out the sky. The episode ends. People have said it's controversial. I think it's the logical path for where the story's going. I mean, there's a shock factor moment to it, but you basically discover a new mechanic where you can enter a memory from long in the past through a photograph, which now ties the whole photograph taking thing in the game to the main gameplay device, which is quite smart, because I was wondering when that was going to kick in, because that's the thing that's been bugging me. You take all these photos in the game, but they don't have an effect on the story. So I'm wondering if now you're going to have an opportunity to take a photo and use that to travel back to that point to solve a puzzle much later in the story.
What, like the butterfly effect?
Sort of, yeah. And it has a major butterfly effect moment. It uses butterfly effect logic a little bit, because the end of episode 3 ends on a major butterfly effect moment.
Can you spoil it for the... Should we say spoilers?
Spoilers, yeah.
Spoilers!
Okay.
If you don't want the game to be spoiled, stop this podcast now, play it, then come back and listen to the rest because you're a dedicated listener and we love
Yeah.
you. I want to touch your shitbox.
So, like I say about like the photographs, there's been a fairly depressing path in this episode. There's been a lot of mention of Chloe's dad who died years in the past, and that's what sent her off the rails a little bit.
Is he a time traveller?
No.
Oh.
But you get the photograph that you've seen a bunch of times through the thing of you and Chloe together on the last day before her dad died.
Yeah.
That her dad took, and you travel back in time to that moment when Max is 13 years old. And you basically have this whole sequence where you're trying to stop him going in his car to pick up his wife, which is what led to the car accident that killed him. So you have to hide the keys, and I had a nightmare finding somewhere to hide the keys that you wouldn't find them because he has a beepy thing on him. So you do that, and you can't move out of the room. So it's literally like the only thing that exists in this past is what was taken in the photo and the memories of what all you could see at the time. So it's literally just that room. And then you travel back to the future afterwards, after successfully stopping him using that. He gets the bus instead, and the entire future's changed. You're now friends with the girls who are just basically the bad guys in the series, and she goes to visit Chloe, and Chloe's dad's there, but Chloe's now in a wheelchair and disabled, and she's like, her arms are strapped down. She must have some sort of motor neurone illness or something like that, but something you've changed in the past has caused her to go down a different route. And now, like, some people have complained that Max goes to the house, sees her in a wheelchair and reacts in shock. But I'm like, of course she's going to react in shock. In her head, she's caused this. So this is interesting where it's going to go now. The next episode, the only teaser they showed for the next part was shorter than what they usually show. And it was just Max at the Vortex Club party, which is there's this big party that all the students get involved. It's where one of the girls apparently went missing, where another one of the girls was filmed getting off with a load of guys, and it made her try to commit suicide.
Wait, she was getting off with a load of guys?
Yeah, there's a
She
video
was
going
fucking
on.
a bunch of dudes?
Some other girl. A very religious girl.
But wait, but...
The thing is, you think she was drugged, and...
Oh, right, so
Yeah.
she was raped?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well then, wait, was
But
she...
she's slut-shamed by all the other girls in the
but
school.
was she actively, like, was she working multiple penises?
I didn't see that, no. She was just kissing them, setting a new tongue record, they said.
So she was just kissing boys?
Yeah, but she's very religious. And there's a video of it anyway on
I'm
the
pretty
internet.
sure Jesus tongued Matthew.
Yeah, probably.
Like, it says in the Bible they were good friends.
Yeah, they're very good.
Like, you know, I reckon Jesus
But at
was
the end
taking
of
a
part
trip to
two,
the old
you-
shitbox.
You either save or
Love the
fail
word shitbox.
her life.
Yeah.
Because she tries to jump off a building. I saved her. And it wasn't just by pure luck. I didn't just happen to pick the right option at the last part of the conversation, which could have screwed it up. But this one ends with a more sort of like character-based moment. But loads of people are moaning about that, saying that's a bit too shocking. I'm like, come on, she's going to change this. This is going to be changed. She's got time travel on side.
I mean, like, for
You've
her
now-
friend may not have a motor neuron disease. It may have been that she
Yeah.
was in a car accident because her
Yeah.
mum was maybe driving or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something like that. She's got like a stoma and a stoma thing. Is it stoma?
Tracheotomy.
Tracheotomy, yeah. But it's called a stoma, isn't it? The thing.
I don't know. Smoker hole.
And a bib. Yeah, smoke hole from
And a bib.
Beetlejuice.
So
And her
she's
arm
like,
shut down.
she's
full blown like
mentally disabled.
yeah. She can still move her head, it seems, but she's completely crippled. But
Wow.
that's like an interesting like way to end the
Do
episode.
you think maybe as she was travelling back in time, she accidentally dropped a bit of paper, but because the time stream is so fucked up at that point, it went into high velocity and just hit her in the back of the spine.
One thing I didn't do when you're in the past, I wrote on a fireplace, and I'm figuring that's going to come into it. There seem to be like two things you could do to leave something in the past. One of them was take a photo while you were there, which didn't exist originally, but the other one is right on the fireplace, which is what I did. But yeah, it's really like cliffhangery way. Some people are moaning that they've now got to wait like 6-8 weeks for the next part to come out. I'm like, that's what cliffhangers do. That's what they're meant to do. Like, you know, the fact that you're annoyed that you have to wait 6 to 8 weeks proves that the story is doing exactly what it should be doing, and it's got you emotionally invested to the point where you don't want to wait 6 to 8 weeks.
So what you're comparing it to is like a heroin dealer.
Or more like an episodic TV show, maybe, where the series ends on a cliffhanger. Yeah. But it's a really good episode. Well worth getting. Life is Strange has been excellent. 3 for 3 so far as far as...
Yeah, how many episodes are there? 5?
It's going to be 5, yeah.
There's going to be 5.
Yeah.
And so the next one's 8 weeks away.
It'll be end of June, start of July, probably.
But it's a very passive, slightly supernatural twinge series about ramifications of choices.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of girl growing up and having high school experiences, and it's got loads of pop culture references. Every car in the game has a number plate reference in some TV show.
Yeah. I never care about that shit.
Yeah.
Is it, by any chance, Do you get the sense that she's going to go back in time and strangle herself in the uterus?
I hope bloody not.
Just like in the Butterfly
Is
Effect.
it Butterfly Effect? I cannot stand that film. Loads of
not?
people love it, but I think it's an absolute mess. Like horribly paced, horribly written. Like just.
No, I
terrible.
actually don't mind it.
Just
It's got Penub in it from Idle Hands.
Yeah, true. He's officially, what's his name now, isn't he? Foggy Nelson. Yeah. When's Daredevil Series 2 out?
A long time. Have you heard that Daredevil might be in Civil War?
Apparently, yeah. I heard that they wanted to do something like that.
Paul Rudd's going to be in Civil War.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And Spider-Man. The Jewish Spider-Man. Saul Spider-Man. Anyway, that was my last review. How are you going to end this podcast this week?
Well, I'm going to say to the viewers out there that I love you all very deeply. I want you just to envision right now that we're together, regardless of sex, because I only see love. I don't see gender. I'd like you to imagine that we're together in whatever way you wish us to be, and gently, easily, I find myself tucking something deeply in whatever orifice you feel is acceptable at the time. And good night.
Bye.